We believe adventures are possible no matter your income, no matter your budget, and there are lots of things you can do to enjoy yourself and have fun on just one income without breaking the bank. Okay, so today I have some great tips for you, or tips that we use in our family to live well off of one income. It was our dream for many years to figure out how we could have me stay home, homeschool our kids, but still be able to enjoy our lives. I was not interested in having a life where I couldn't celebrate birthdays or holidays the way I wanted to, where vacations were out of the question, where we couldn't just eat out at a restaurant sometimes and just feel like normal people. I wanted to have it all. Don't we all want to have it all? I think we do. The first thing I would say, and this is a big one, this is number one, but this is a huge one. Do not, whether you're buying or renting, people do this all the time and it just kills me. And we've been guilty of this ourselves before many times. Do not get a house that is at the top of your budget. Now, when you're buying a house especially, and you pre-qualify for your mortgage broker or the bank that you go through is going to come back and say, hey, yeah, you're qualified for this big a house. And that big a house is probably going to be at the very, very tippy top of your budget. Do not buy a house at the very tippy top of your budget, or rent a house at the very top of your budget. You don't need as much house as you think you need. You can get away with a lot smaller of a house than you think you can. Look around, shop for houses. It doesn't have to be the most expensive thing you find. Saving money on your rent and mortgage is huge, because if the extra couple $100s you're going to spend a month in your living expenses is going to make a giant impact in your extra money that you can spend on just fun things and adventuring throughout every single month. It's huge. Number two, this one was so hard for us, and we're actually, this one won't be a lifetime thing you can do, at least not for us. Maybe it will be for you. But my second tip is no car payment. This is hard. Eric and I have historically always had car payments. This is embarrassing to say, but at one point we were paying well over $1,100, $1,200 a month between our car payments and our car insurance. We both had newer cars. We both had car payments. And of course, when you have a new car that you're making a payment on, you have to have the most amount of insurance coverage on it. You can't just have liability. And so you have to spend out the wazoo in insurance as well. So right now, we currently have sacrificed our car payment. We have not had a car payment for over a year now. We are still driving our trusty 2005 Pontiac Aztek. We have been battling ourselves back and forth this past year about whether or not we should just get a new car and get something nicer, because we want something nicer, something newer, something more comfortable. We bought this Aztek in 2005, brand new, off the lot. I know, a Pontiac Aztek. Who drives one of those? I do. We bought this car brand new. It was actually the showcase car at the GMC dealership that we bought it from, and it was just funky and cool and different, and Eric and I love funky different things, and so we didn't know anyone who drove an Aztek, and it was a cool car, and you could turn it into a tent, which is awesome. And we thought it was a cool car, so we bought it, paid that thing off. We've had it ever since, 13 years, and she's still going. We've had to put, knock on wood, minimal amount of money into this thing. It's still going. We keep saying, well, when something major goes wrong with it, then we'll go ahead and get another car. We know we can't stay without car payments forever. We don't have enough money in savings to be able to just go purchase a new car brand new. And unfortunately, neither one of us are really mechanically inclined with automotives. So it's not like we can just continue to repair our car. Every time something goes wrong with it, we have to take it in to a mechanic and have them fix it. And so at some point, we know probably sometime this year, we're going to have to get another vehicle, and then we'll have to get another car payment. But this past year, we have saved so much money. So number 3, meal plan and Walmart store pickup. I know a lot of you might not have Walmart store pickup, and I'm sorry, because it's sweet. At least it's sweet here for me. I have now used Walmart store pickup in 2 states. I used it in Arkansas, and now I use it in Missouri. And I love Walmart store pickup. You might be thinking, I don't want some strange person shopping for my groceries. They're not gonna pick out the best stuff for me. That's not true. Walmart wants you to come back, and they want you to spend your money with them. So they're not gonna give you crap produce and crap meat and give you the worst of stuff. Now, I have had a couple of times where things have been missed on my order, or I've gotten like, one time they gave me zucchini that was, I'm not kidding you, it looked like a pickle. It was so tiny. And every time I've ever had an issue with something that they've given me, if you call the store back and say, hey, yo, you missed this, or hey, I'm not happy with this produce, they're gonna say, I'm so sorry. Would you like me to refund the money on your card? Or if you come right back, we'll replace it, no problem. They're so willing to work with you. I'm lucky enough that my Walmart is like 7 minutes from my house. So in the times that we have forgotten stuff, I said, oh, we'll just stop by tomorrow and pick it up. Or, you know what, I'll just grab it next week. It's not super important that I have that thing, so just take it off my bill, and they just give you the credit back. And so they're super easy to work with. Why is Walmart store pickup such a good way to save money? I'll tell you. If you're anything like me, you are an impulse buyer. I am a terrible impulse buyer. When I walk in, I'm like that dog on the movie Up. Squirrel. I'm like, everything I see, I'm like, something shiny. Oh my gosh, look at that. Look at this, it's on sale. I have to have 10. I'm a horrible impulse shopper. And because I'm a horrible impulse shopper, even if I have a budget, every time I step foot into a store, I will see something and say, oh, I forgot that on the list. Oh, I forgot that on the list. Oh, we should have that. Oh, I forgot we were out of that. And before I know it, I get to the register and my bill is easily $20, $30, $40, $50 more than I meant to spend. I have tried so many times to walk my butt into a store and not overspend. And you know what? I think I've been able to do it like 2% of the time. I'm not good. I have lived a very spoiled life in terms of just wasting cash, so I'm not great at it. But with Walmart store pickup, you can plan your meals out ahead, and definitely meal planning is part of this. Sit down, figure out how many meals you need for the week, figure out how much food that requires, and we can do another video on how to meal plan. But I have started to do this. It makes a huge difference to spending the time to sit down, figure out what meals you want, figure out what food you need to cover those meals, write your shopping list out according to that. It takes time, but if you're gonna stay home, you got some time to work on these things. And then do the Walmart store pickup. You download the app on your cell phone. You literally, all week long, I shop every 2 weeks. And so every 2 weeks, Eric gets paid. The off week that I'm not shopping is when I start my grocery order. A week in advance. I'll start adding to it. I start meal planning. I start figuring out what we want to eat for the following next 2 weeks. And then I'm prepared to go. When he gets paid and it's time, I will just go ahead and hit place that order. And then the following day, Eric will pick it up on his way home from work, and I don't have to step foot into the store. Makes a huge difference. I have been able to spend about 30 to 40% less in our grocery shopping budget because of Walmart store pickup. Huge, huge fan. I will continue to do that for as long as I can, and I recommend that you do the same. Number 4, budget for yearly fun during taxes and bonuses. A couple of times a year, or at least once a year, you're gonna get a tax refund, or you're gonna get bonuses, or you're gonna have some sort of surplus of cash come in. Maybe it's the 2 months a year that you get an extra paycheck. Every year, what we do is we decide what fun thing our family wants to do that year. and we plan for it during our times of bonus cash. So whether it be tax return or bonuses or whatever it is, we say, hey, this year we want to have season passes to this amusement park, to this water park, to this museum, to this zoo, to whatever the case is. And we sit down as a family and we decide a budget. It's usually around $1,000. And we spend the cash when we have the cash. A lot of people say, oh, just save it. I don't save it. We want to have fun. We want to be able to go out and enjoy our town, our city. We want to go out and have a good time on the weekends when we're off. We want to be able to explore and take our kids out to do fun things. I have no interest in sitting in my house on the couch watching TV all day. I don't want to do that. My kids don't want to do that. My husband doesn't want to do that. So we plan for our yearly fun at the beginning of the year. It's usually when we get our taxes back. And what we'll do is we'll say, okay, we're getting X amount on our tax refund. How much of that do we want to spend on yearly fun? We'll pick a budget that's within our means and we'll say, okay, we have this much money. What can we get with it? For example, last year we had season passes for our local amusement park, Silver Dollar City. We also had season passes for our local water park, Whitewater. And the year before that, we had season passes for our local amusement park and water park in Arkansas, which was Magic Springs, I think is what it was called. We also had season passes to the local science center in Little Rock, and we had season passes to the zoo. And so every year is not the same. We decide what we want to do and what's within our budget. We might not have enough money to get a big amusement park pass, which of course costs a lot for a family of 5. We might have to do the science center or do a museum or do something like that, or the zoo, which is much cheaper. But always get the season pass. Always do the season pass. For example, when we lived in Orlando, we would do season passes at Disney, which, whoa, oh my gosh, those are astronomical. They're a couple $1,000s for a family of 5. However, when you take into account that you can go to Disney anytime you want, and we did, when we were paying over $2,000 a year for a season pass at Disney World, you better believe we went to Disney like every other weekend. We went there just for a show. We would go just in the evening time and catch the fireworks. When you have season passes, you don't feel inclined to have to stay all day or get up at 7 o'clock in the morning and make a huge day of the amusement park. No, you don't have to do that. You can get up and just go for dinner. You can get up and just go catch a show and dinner. You can go just in the morning and catch a couple rides and come home. You can just go and enjoy it, whatever's good for your time, but you have the option to do that. And so getting season passes at any place that you want to have fun, I highly recommend that. You're going to save a ton of money. Often when you have a bigger family, like a family of 5 or 6 or 7, getting the season pass is the same price as getting a one-day entry, especially for museums like science centers, zoos, things like this. So you might as well just pay a couple extra bucks, get the season pass, have it, and then be able to go back whenever you want. And when you're tight on cash and you have nothing to do and the kids are bored, you can say, let's go. We're going to the zoo. We're going to the science center. We're going to do this thing. And it's fun. So pre-plan for your fun. Make it a priority. And then that way, all year long, you feel like you've done so much. And trust me, your kids will appreciate it. They don't want to sit on the couch and play video games as much as they might say they want to. They don't want to do that. They want to go out and have fun. So pre-plan. Number 5, re-shop for utilities and things you need. So for many years, Eric and I had AT&T as our cell phone provider. I think like 12 years. I don't know why it never occurred to me to shop for cell phone coverage. I don't know why. For 12 years, I was paying astronomical rates for my cell phone. Eric and I were paying like almost $300 a month for 2 cell phones and a tablet. What? That's how much we were paying through AT&T. Sorry, AT&T, but it's true. We had them for 12 years, and I don't know why it never occurred to me to say, hey, maybe we're paying too much for our cell phone here. We never did that. We just kept on paying the bill. When we went down to one income, we looked at our finances real hard and said, oh my gosh, we can't keep paying this much money for a cell phone and a tablet. And I was like, over it. So we just left AT&T. We left AT&T and we went and we signed up, did some research. We ended up going with Cricket. I hadn't even heard of Cricket before that. But now with Cricket, we have 2 smartphones on one line $87 a month. Full coverage, no blackout problems. I've never one time had a blackout problem with my coverage. Never had slow, laggy coverage or internet. Never had any issue with it. Through Cricket, $87 a month, unlimited text, unlimited data. It's perfect, exact, identical coverage as AT&T. In fact, I think they might be owned by AT&T. I'm not sure. That might not be true. But shop for cell phones, not just cell phones. Shop for your cell phone coverage. Shop for your car insurance. Shop for your internet regularly. Number 6, no cable. We have not had cable television for probably 8 years now. With Hulu, with Netflix, with Google Play accounts, with all of these things that you can get on TV, and there's plenty more, there's no need to have cable. Also, don't be afraid to share your passwords. I know that they don't want us to say that. However, a lot of them offer family logins. Like Google Play, you can have up to 5 family logins. Share them with your family. Say, hey, what accounts do you have? What accounts do you have? Great. I will give you access into my account. You give me access into your account, and we'll share it. And so don't be afraid to do that. I have people on my Google Play account, and we share accounts with other people. Thanks, everyone. And we're able to watch whatever shows we want to watch. There has never been a time where we could not find for free on the internet or from a friend a show we wanted to watch. Number 7, cut back on eating out. Now, a lot of people in their budget thing might say, stop eating out. I'm not going to say that. We love eating out. We used to eat out 4 or 5 times a week. We love restaurants. We love being served. We love having food cooked for us. I love having a meal I don't have to wash dishes for. I love eating out. Our family loves it. It's a treat. I would never, ever, ever budget myself into a place where I could not afford to eat out. Now, I'm not saying we go eat out at great restaurants all the time. Sometimes we stop and pick up sandwiches and have a picnic. Sometimes we just catch a movie and have some Taco Bell. Sometimes it's a nicer restaurant. We'll go to a really nice steakhouse, or we'll go have sushi or something like that. Those are usually reserved for birthdays or special occasions. We love sushi. We love steakhouses, but those things are expensive. And to drop $100, $120, $140 on dinner, those things have to be budgeted, and they have to happen at special occasions. And you know what? If you're eating out nice restaurants all the time, when you do go out for special occasions, it really doesn't feel that special. Number 8, buy used. Buy used. We use Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace all the time. Eric, you might not know this about him, master Facebook marketer, Craigslister. He has been Craigslisting for as long as Craigslist has been out. Craigslist has saved us so much money. We have bought everything on Craigslist. We have bought appliances. We have bought furniture. We have bought tools. I feel like almost everything in our house we have bought from Craigslist. We don't buy things brand new very often. And the reason we don't do that is because you can find killer deals on Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace. Next, hand-me-downs. I remember when I was a kid, my mom used to say, oh, I used to have to wear hand-me-downs, and I always thought it was a terrible thing. This works so well for us because I have 3 daughters. So because I have 3 daughters, they can all wear the same clothes. I'm very, very fortunate in that when Isabella, my oldest daughter, was born, I didn't have another baby for 5 years. And so for the 5 years I had her, I spent a lot of money on her clothes. I didn't do this on purpose, but it just sort of worked out this way. I wanted to donate all of the clothes she had outgrown as a smaller kid as she was growing up. But just out of like laziness and never getting around to it, I kept bagging up all of her old clothes and sticking it in her closet with the mindset that eventually I would take it to like Goodwill and drop it off. Never happened. I ended up keeping it all. And then I got pregnant with my second child, Lenora, and she was a girl. And I thought, great, I'm not donating this stuff. I'm keeping it. I have bags and bags and bags of really nice clothes that she did not wear out. They were like practically brand new. And I even had some stuff that was brand new, still had the tags on it. I ended up keeping all that stuff for Lenora. Lenora is 5 now. I have barely bought Lenora any clothes in her 5 years of life because Isabella is 5 years older than her. I always have a constant stream of clothes coming from her older sister. I have bags and bags of clothes waiting for Lenora to grow into from Isabella. Number 10, from scratch food and baking. Learn how to bake. If you're gonna buy a bunch of prepackaged crap from the grocery store for snacks, I don't know about you, but my kids love snacks. They want to eat a snack all the time. I can feed them lunch, an hour later they're like, what's for a snack? So I have learned to bake, and I've always loved baking. I didn't learn to bake just for budgeting. I've always baked, and I've just loved to bake. Eric loves to bake. We've taught Isabella to bake. She loves to bake. She's a great little baker. And so one thing that we have done in the last 2 years to stay on budget is instead of buying a bunch of prepackaged stuff, which we still do, but when we're having birthdays and having special events, I don't go out and get big, expensive birthday cakes. We make them at home. And it's actually become a really fun tradition for us because Isabella loves to bake, I love to bake, Eric loves to bake. So every year we decide what the birthday cake's gonna be. The baker gets to have fun in deciding those things. Getting all the ingredients, baking it, and it's actually a really fun thing to sit down and bake someone a birthday cake and then present them your hard work, and you feel so much more appreciative of that when someone put in all the hard work to make you your birthday cake. And as the receiver of that cake, you're like, oh, thank you. Last year, Eric made me the most amazing peanut butter chocolate cheesecake for my birthday because that's what I wanted. I made him from scratch the most amazing carrot cake, and that was the first time I ever made a carrot cake from scratch. One of the most delicious cakes I've ever eaten. So learn how to bake, save your money in those categories. Bake the cookies, don't buy them. You know, they're gonna taste better. They're gonna it's a fun experience to do with the kids to bake and get in the kitchen. We just were doing some baking yesterday for St. Patrick's Day, doing some sugar cookies and rolling them in green and gold sprinkles, and the kids love that kind of thing. So learn how to bake, save the money there, and from scratch made food. Pull out the recipes. Don't buy the convenience food. It's going to be healthier for you to make it from scratch, first off. It's going to be cheaper for you to make it from scratch. It's going to taste better. And so learn how to cook, learn how to bake, spend the time in the kitchen, use whole ingredients, save yourself the money on prepackaged, unhealthy, loaded with preservative foods. And the last thing I have for you today, I know it was a huge long list, is staycations. If you can't afford to go on a big vacation, vacation around where you are. We have done this many, many times. Take advantage of the local discounts. We're lucky that we live in a vacation destination, and we did in Orlando too, so there were lots of places available for us to do this. But on the off season or in the slow season, hotels, resorts offer huge discounts to stay at their places. We do this every single year. We check out Groupon, we check out their websites, we see who's got what on special, and we'll go and spend just a weekend or 3 days at a place and feel like we got a chance to do a small little staycation, get out of the house, do something fun, and change it up. If you can't afford to do a huge big vacation, which I know, they cost a lot of money. Eric and I have spent thousands of dollars on vacations before. And it's not easy to come up with that money, especially when you're on a tight budget. So my point is, life is short. Still, take the small trip. And my last bonus tip is do free stuff. I can't tell you the amount of people who tell me, oh, I don't know how you guys always do stuff. I always see you guys on your Facebook page and you're always doing stuff. How do you guys afford to do so much stuff? Because we just do. We will spend a day, if we don't have money to do something, we will spend the day at the creek catching crayfish. We will spend the day at a lake swimming. We will go out and just do a picnic. We love to go fishing. We do fishing all the time. That costs nothing. Find things that are free in your town. A huge resource for us is church events. There are churches all around you, I guarantee you. And these churches throw yearly events for holidays, for festivals, for little like carnivals and stuff. Not all of them are free, but most of them are. You don't have to go to the church to enjoy their functions. In fact, they hope non-members come to the functions because they're trying to get you to come to their church. Just because you go to their function does not mean you have to go to their church and become a member. It means you just go and meet new people and have fun. There's all sorts of holiday functions. Last year, we went to a church function here in our local town. And at that function, it was in the middle of summertime. It was a going back to school function. They had bounce houses set up. They were giving out free meals, hot dogs on the grill and chips and sodas. They had free ice cream and popsicles. They were giving out free book bags for school, giving out free school supplies, pencils, pens, tablets, notebooks, folders, all of these glue sticks. They were giving out all this stuff for free. All you had to do is show up and have fun. We've gone to trunk or treat events at churches before where the kids got to go trick or treating and get a bunch of free candy. They always, almost always, have free food, free entertainment, free dancing, free crafts. All these things are free and you can go. They're going to ask you to fill out a little information card. Fill out the card. That just means they're going to send you more information for their events next time, and then you'll know and you can put it on your calendar. Take advantage of the free stuff that's happening around you. Almost every zoo, every museum has at least 1 or 2 days a calendar year where they have free entry or severely discounted entry where you can get in and participate in those things. The library has free events all the time. There are a ton of resources that if you just spend some time filling out your calendar, you can find free events. Facebook events is a perfect place to find these things. And put a reminder on it. Say you're going. Facebook will remind you. Put it on your calendar, and then you'll always have something to do. There is just no reason to stay home and say, I'm broke. I can't do anything. We can't afford to do anything. That's not true. You can afford to do a lot of things. Just get out and do it. Walking up and down a creek catching crayfish. Do you know how much fun my kids have doing that? They would almost rather do that than go spend the day at the amusement park. God's honest truth. Anyway, I hope that these tips will help you a lot as you are trying to budget for your family and just enjoy the best life you can have. Life is short. Have a good time. Adventure on. Take care, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.